903 FM on YouTube, VOP 903 FM on YouTube. So go on, we're streaming the program live. And today's conversation promises to be quite interesting because there's a lot we intend to decompact. Now, I'm sure you recall last week when I think on Friday during Martyrs, I was able to call the one of the Yoruba leaders worldwide who spoke on the disquiet, all right, concerning the establishment of the Sharia arbitration panel in the Southwest. And a couple of you actually said that I should have balanced it. I think somebody called and said I should have balanced it by calling maybe an imam or a Muslim cleric. Let's hear from them. Let's get their own point of view on the conversation, concerning the establishment of the Sharia arbitration panel. Like I said earlier, there's been a lot of back and forth. The Yoruba conservatives in this part of the world are saying they do not want the establishment of the Sharia panel or the Sharia arbitration court because they feel that, the northerners or the northern religions, that is Islam, being practiced in the north, their method is quite domineering and rigid, inflexible. But what about those who actually want the establishment of the Sharia court or the Sharia arbitration panel right here in the Southwest? A couple of them must have actually written, all right, and actually demanded that they would actually want arbitration panels in the Southwest to help resolve some of their issues. And one of such persons who actually made a comment, for example, is a former minister of communications during the presidency of former President Muhammadu Buhari, Adebayo Shitu. He has actually thrown his weight behind the agitation for the establishment of Sharia panels in Southwest states. Shitu submitted that those against the planned establishment of Sharia panels are actually simply ignorant of the provisions of the Nigerian constitution. And this statement he made during an interview on a monitored television program. In fact, we know that according to him, this controversy has been enveloped with plans by some supposed conservatives who feel that this is an expansionist initiative, an expansionist idea, which they say they will not embrace. For them, culture comes first, their indigenous practice comes first before religion. But a lot of Nigerians are worried as to what polarization this actually has caused. I mean, you have people of the same ethnic group being uncomfortable, right, to establish a common ground concerning the establishment of the arbitration panel. Well, like I said last week, one of you called and said that you would have actually preferred if I had gotten a Muslim cleric to help share or give us his own insight or what he thinks and properly educate, put in context why the establishment of a Sharia arbitration panel is actually needed in this part of the world. And actually have Barrister Iskil Lawal on the telephone. He is a chairman, Lagos State Sharia panel. Good evening, sir, and welcome to the Political Spotlight. How are you, sir?
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm good.
Thank you very much,
Hello.
sir. Welcome to the program. I am sure we had actually discussed concerning the establishment of the arbitration panel, but a couple of Southwesterners, specifically some who are not actually Muslims or those who don't practice Islam, they say they don't want the arbitration panel. I had an interview with the Yoruba Council Worldwide president on Friday, and he's of the note that they do not want it because they want that panel and establishment to remain in the north. But there are some Muslims in this part of the world, in the Southwest, who actually want.
They don't want arbitration or in Southwest. When it is a fundamental human right that is guaranteed by Section 275 of the for anybody for any society that has interest in to have state Sharia to have it. Are they going to correct the Nigerian constitution? Are you going to stop the democracy? Sharia is part of our life. Our prayer is Sharia. Our fasting is Sharia. Our marriage is Sharia. Our birth is Sharia.
Barrister, hold on. The line is really very poor, so I would like to reconnect with you. I really want to call you back because this particular line is very poor. So just hold on. Let me call you back, possibly with another number, because I can't seem to really hear you properly well. All right, please. All right, we're still listening to the political spotlight, and we're speaking on the establishment of Sharia law right here in the Southwest, specifically the establishment of Sharia courts in the Southwest. And I was on the phone with Barrister Iskil. He is the leader of the Sharia panel right here in Lagos, and he intends to give us his own perspective. Unfortunately, the line was very poor, so I'm trying to establish connection with him on another line so that we can hear him clearly and have everything properly put in context. And I told you that today's conversation intends to be very interesting because I have somebody right here in the studio who will be helping me as well to also put in context a couple of issues across Nigeria's socio political and economic landscape. So it promises to be quite a bumper package on the political spotlight. So if you haven't joined us now, do join us now. All right, we're streaming live on YouTube at VOP 903 FM, and also you can join our frequency at 90.3 FM. So I'm trying to connect with Barrister Iskil so that he can continue to enlighten us on what he thinks concerning the establishment of the Sharia panel right here in the Southwest. The network was absolutely terrible at the time I was speaking with him, so I needed him to help us give us a perspective on some of these issues, and then let's get to know what exactly is the problem, what is creating the discord, what is creating the division, how come some conservationists right here do not want the establishment. Could it be the fact that they feel that the practice from the north is usually not accommodating, inflexible? Hello sir, thank you for joining us once again. Can you hear me well now?
Yes, I always hear you well.
All right.
You said my own line is cracking.
Yes, I had to call you with another line. This is way better. So continue, sir.
I said there is no justification for any group of people, either tribe or group of individuals, society or whatever, to deny Muslims their rights just based on whatever religion they come from. Sharia is a universal law that guides the life of Muslims, and nobody determine why it can stop Muslims from having the right that has been given to them. Section 275 of the Nigerian Constitution, it is right enshrined there that any state that wants a Sharia bill can do so. So what right have they got to now deny Muslims of the Southwest this right? And this is something that has been in practice even before the coming up of Madam Fori or whatever they are trying to relate it to.
Yeah.
This is a right for the Muslims. Muslims have been in the southwest of Nigeria for over 1,000 years, and they have been practicing Sharia the way they understand it then. This Sharia panel they said they don't want. I have been in Sharia panel since year 2002, which it was inaugurated. I am a lawyer. I know the law. I know the fact and say Sharia is created in Nigerian law, or Sharia should not be practiced in the South. I have sat over 1,000 cases in this Lagos state for Muslims. What is the concern of non-Muslims there? What is their concern?
All right, Barrister is
It is our right that is guaranteed by the Nigerian Constitution. Nobody can support that.
Well, this has
to practice their own religion.
This has caused
Sharia
quite
determines our private life, and all of our lives is encompassed in Sharia. Our birth, our marriage, our guardianship of children, our divorce, everything is in Sharia. Must they force us to use a custom that does not belong to our belief?
All right, Barrister Mohammed Iskil Lawal, let's look at this. One of the reasons they complained is that they feel that the establishment of the Sharia court in the Southwest would actually not be favorable to them, as it undermines the cultural and religious diversity where this faith, is basically dominant in. And they also complained specifically because in response to the backlash, the Islamic Council later announced an indefinite postponement of the court's inauguration. And so a lot of Nigerians specifically
you see what was being established in Oyo State then was an arbitration
panel,
not even a court. It was not even it is a voluntary coming together of Muslims to adjudicate on their matters. Can the English court, which adjudicate on divorce and marriages that are done under the Matrimonial Causes Act, which only recognize a monogamous marriage, can it adjudicate on matters that involve Muslim marriage that recognizes marriage, that act the rules of this multiple marriage? Can the customary court of Yoruba adjudicate when a Muslim lady sees a man and go to his father, I want to marry this man, and the man tells her, you cannot marry him by Islamic standards because they are fed together by the same woman. Because when a woman nurses a man and an infant or two infants, a male and a female, by that themselves, even if one of them is a Briton and the other one is a Nigerian, that is the law of Sharia. So if the lady now takes his father to customary court, what law are they going to employ? What law? They will just be asking the father, why are you saying they cannot marry? But in Sharia, it is not allowed. So there are many rules of Sharia, principles of Sharia that guide our marriage, our divorce, now in divorce, in Sharia, and not divorce a menstruating woman. So if somebody goes to the customary court, to the Yoruba customary court, they will not care whether the woman is menstruating or not before they pronounce the divorce. These are not Sharia practice. Such divorce cannot. Hello?
I can hear you. Yes, go ahead.
There are some of the areas that only Sharia court can adjudicate on, and that's why when cases of Muslim marriages goes to customary court, lawyers rush to stop such courts, and such courts have been stopped on several occasions, and they will declare that there is a lacuna in law because there is no provision where Muslims can fully get their rights, either in terms of marriage, custody, or whatever. Go and look at the case of Bandoma and Pastor Adika. Go and look at the case of Alhaji Bello and Aisha. The High Court of Lagos State declared completely the customary court cannot handle Muslim marriages nor divorce because they didn't marry under the court. It can only be managed under Sharia court. And sometimes when they realize there are lacuna, they sometimes direct such people to come the independent Sharia panel, which is the place where I sit as a, and we employ the Sharia procedure on them. How can somebody support our rights?
It's been festering for almost a week right now. We don't want Sharia in the southwest, where areas where the process of Sharia is implemented. How has it economically developed the region? Who the penalties involved with Sharia? Who are the people that suffer the consequences? These are the questions, and so they're saying there are cultural values first before the religion.
My sister, the Sharia court is not for non-Muslims. How will it cause problem for them? Repeating since year 2002, 20 years old. At any block, and I have started over 1,000 cases. Over 1,000 cases. Has there been any problem? And we employ the full Sharia. Yeah. Has there been any problem? Has anybody come out to say there is a problem here? And we have branches of this independent Sharia panel in Lagos here, and nobody has ever complained that the Sharia. We have handled cases of major and generals. We have handled cases of police officers. We have handled cases of commissioners in Lagos State here. I can show you.
So why do you think the disquiet is now? Why the rage against it now? Like you said, there are panels right here in Lagos.
Sheer hatred.
Coming from where? Because these are Yoruba speaking individuals. They are still speaking Yoruba. They usually accommodate themselves. So what happened now?
My sister, I'm a Yoruba man from Abeokuta. I'm a Yoruba man. All of us that are sitting there are Yoruba man. We were trained in this Lagos. Latu get graduate from Sharia. My classmates, I graduated from the north. I went to the north because that time there was no Sharia department in Lagos. I graduated in the 80s. And I graduated with those who are non-Muslims that read this Sharia again. Even people from the north, people from the southeast, they were, some of them are learned in this Sharia because they are lawyers who are trained in both common law and Sharia. So how can somebody now tell us today Sharia will cause problems? What problem will Sharia cause?
All right. Thank you so much, sir. I really wanted us to educate ourselves because a couple of them feel that the politicians in the north do not suffer the consequences of Sharia. Most of the corrupt practices that are actually carried out by these politicians or political elite in the north, the consequences or the implementation of Sharia does not affect them. It is only the poor and the vulnerable that go through the consequences of Sharia. So is it possible that they have not been properly educated?
Sorry, when it comes to political or whatever,
yes,
this is not private matter. They will go to civil, they will go to the regular court for that. So it's not a matter of coming to Sharia court. Sharia court in the north, the Sharia court of our state does not have jurisdiction over such matter, over politics. It doesn't have jurisdiction. So if it is established also for us in this house, it does not have jurisdiction. It's only going to have jurisdiction on family matters, personal matters. That is it.
All right. So is it possible for you to organize lectures or summits where you will educate people? Because right now they are not happy and they are putting their feet down and saying no.
Yes,
and those who actually want it, their voices have been silenced.
I agree with you, my sister. We have been staging conferences, but whenever anybody sees anything Sharia, they will never come, except Muslims. And even if it is displayed on TV, they will never listen to it because of hatred and intolerance. Somebody that you might say,
kindly
Muslims don't want Muslims to exist at all. They don't want us to exist. They don't want us to establish our rights. Meanwhile, the common law that we practice is tailored towards Christian oriented law. And we are not opposed to that. But let us have our own rights likewise. Because somebody called adjudicate custom and tradition of Yorubas, the common law court, most of its law is based on Christian doctrine. But this is my own private life. I want to be ruled by my belief. And that is why Sharia has to be allowed for Muslims, for them to have their own area that will cover their religious belief.
All right. Thank you so much, Barrister Mohammed Iskolawal. I sincerely do appreciate you taking your time. I know you're supposed to be doing your prayers at this time, but I really wanted to get your insight.
Supposed to be praying by now.
Yes, you're supposed to be praying by now.
I believe this is a public responsibility.
Yes.
Which I must discharge.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I really do appreciate. All right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. The political spotlight is still on. We still have quite a couple of issues to discuss today. And I actually have right here in the studio. Oh my God. I know a couple of you will be so excited that she's here with me today. The one and only industrious, intelligent, beautiful Lolo Neka Chimieze, Madam Pinto. Welcome to the program. Good evening and thank you for joining us today.
Good evening, Esther. Thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm good.
I sincerely do appreciate you coming in today. And I also know that we're going to discuss a lot of interesting content today on the political spotlight. Thank you for joining me today. Now, Lolo, something quite interesting occurred this weekend. I was surprised to see the news where that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has reportedly intensified pressure on members of the Lagos State House of Assembly to reinstate Mudashiru Obasa as speaker just 3 weeks after his impeachment. Now, I found it ridiculous because I'm like, what's going on? Well, according to insiders, Tinubu urged lawmakers over the weekend to consider allowing Obasa's return, citing potential political repercussions of the 40-member Lagos Assembly. But two belong to the ruling All Progressives Congress. So a senior Lagos politician who attended meetings over the weekend disclosed to the People's Gazette, and this is what the person said: the president has sent instruction that we should start preparing to let him come back. He said Obasa will spend only a short time before resigning on his own terms. Another source told the People's Gazette, we have agreed to let him return to give him a soft landing because the political consequences of allowing this matter to drag on are too severe. However, some lawmakers remain uneasy about the decision, especially those involved in the impeachment on January 13, 2025. One legislator cautioned, and he says bringing him back will be like trying to pacify a snake after its head was severed. Its venom will be super deadly. A crucial meeting is scheduled to hold tomorrow in Abuja. That's tomorrow being Monday, where lawmakers yet to align with Tinubu's directive are expected to be convened. A senior political operative noted that many of us have agreed to let him return, but we cannot predict how this fight may ultimately end. We know that Obasa was removed on January 13 following a report which exposed allegations that he had misappropriated billions in procurement allocations for vehicles and other items that were never received. His impeachment led to the appointment of last part Mojisola Miranda as speaker, backed by at least 32 out of 40 lawmakers. Now, here is where there is a response or a rebuffing of this, because I also found it very funny when I saw this report that how will the same president who had always known about the quagmire between Obasa and a couple of House of Rep members in Lagos, including the current governor of the state, be the same person to actually call for him to be reinstated? Isn't that against the constitution? Do you tweak things based on when it's convenient for you? What exactly is the meaning of this? What kind of politics is this? I mean, consideration should have been made earlier before you decided to impeach the man, even if the president said the method through which he was impeached was not from him. He cautioned the lawmakers that you should have done it in the right way. But then he has been impeached. So why ask him to return? But we now saw that since the emergence, we now heard from, other lawmakers that when they cited Chapter 5, Section 92 of the Nigerian Constitution, the lawmakers explained that a speaker can be removed if 2/3 of the assembly votes in favor of their removal. Now, apparently determined not to back down, members of the House who had visited the Shangisha office of the DSS to reaffirm the legality of Obasa's removal, they described the detentions as an attempt to intimidate the assembly, vowing to stand by their decision. So, reports surfaced on Sunday, February 2, being today, claiming that the president, who also serves as the leader of the All Progressives Congress, had allegedly directed Miranda and other principal officers to step down to reinstate Obasa. Well, the report falsely claimed that First Lady Oluremi Tinubu intervened on behalf of Obasa, urging the president to act to prevent political tensions ahead of the next elections. So, apparently, an inside political source, also speaking to another media, PM Express, revealed that when it seemed ploys and tactics from the ex-speaker are not yielding expected results, those behind the plot have resorted to sponsoring wild rumors and dropping names. The president is the leader of our party, and it's quick to drop his name around the media to make Obasa seem like one who has a strong backing. All the antics from Obasa that you are seeing are all the ex-speaker clutching to the last straws of what remains of his political career. So this particular report through PM Express is saying that that directive is not from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that it is Obasa who is trying to spring certain information to the media, like he has a strong backing, or the president cannot do without him, or there are some secrets he will expose if the president decides to support his continuous impeachment. How do you explain all of this?
Thank you very much, Esther. Unfortunately, that is the scenario in our country today. From 2015 till now, let me say democracy died in 2015. From 2015, we've seen series of abuses, power play, where people arrogate power to themselves and decide who and how you get political positions. You can imagine after impeaching the speaker and someone has settled in to office, and they are carrying on with their job from the presidency. And I can assure you, this will happen in this country. OBASA will be returned.
How is
On
that
the
possible?
instance, the president, it will happen. Imagine Hope Uzodinma coming forth in Imo State and becoming governor, just like that. So why are we surprised? In fact, I'm even surprised and shocked that Lagosians are shouting. Politicians in Lagos are shouting. This is a man who has been doing the appointing, who decides who gets what. So why all the noise right now? Why all the noise? So I don't think all this noise is not worth it. It's better they arrange their things the way they used to arrange it and not expose themselves further. You get it?
Okay.
Because this is exactly what is obtainable in Lagos State. They'll sit down one place and decide, okay, you'll be this. The will of the people does not matter. It's no longer about who people will vote. It's about who the leader of the party or the leader in Lagos will appoint. So it is what it is. So OBASA is a candidate of the president. And how dare you remove OBASA? I think people are becoming too tired of the powers President Ahmed Tinubu wills, especially in Lagos. And I think they're trying to, protest and fight back where they have to tolerate everything because the president said so. The president says this person will stay put, even though what he's saying, what he's doing, or his actions is against the state, his actions is against the people. But if the president likes him, he can stay put. So that is what it is. So the people are now pushing and fighting. My advice is, maybe this is the time they have to make that change. They should stand their ground and then let that change happen. It is high time Lagosians take back their Lagos. It shouldn't be business as usual. The president have moved from Lagos to Abuja. They should allow those in Lagos at least manage Lagos affairs.
Wow, interesting. And okay, the reason why I'm talking about this is because we know how the whole thing went viral when it happened. OBASA's impeachment. OBASA came back, organized a press conference. His supporters were detained by the police. The Lagos State House of Assembly was surrounded by the police. OBASA even said his residence too was, occupied by the Nigerian police. His family were locked inside the house. They couldn't come out. Why was he not invited? We also heard rumors that the reason why he traveled out of the country was to meet a girl, a young lady, and all of that. So there was a lot of back and forth. And then he returned, organized a press conference, and said that the way the impeachment went was illegal. He was supposed to be present. It seemed like a coup. The president said he did not support the way the whole process went. The lawmaker said that it was important for it to happen the way it did because of all the financial misappropriation. Nigerians were now asking questions as to why is the EFCC not invited to investigate all of the misappropriations. Look at all the amount of money that they say he embezzled, no accountability. So how do you bring out all of this against this person? You did not invite the EFCC to investigate it. Then we now heard that the first lady actually tried to deter the EFCC from arresting or investigating OBASA to give him a soft landing. Now the presidency, or will I say the camp, the intimate camp of the president, is saying all of this is not from the president's, it's not from the president's home, it's all OBASA's antics. Now 2027 is at hand, and a couple of people think that the grip on Lagos is so strong, so much that they think they may go unconstitutional. Do you see any form of unconstitutionality occurring to enable some certain whims and caprices of the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
Well, Esther, immediately OBASA came back from America. He went straight to Abuja.
All right.
And he met the president. That was just it. You get it. Every other thing was on hold. When he came back, there was this security, EFCC trying to, get to work.
Okay.
Drill him, arrest him, and do the normal stuff they used to do if you're accused of corruption. But the moment he went to Abuja, so that is to show you that the whole affairs of this country is in the hands of one man. He decides who police will arrest. He decides who EFCC will arrest. He decides who goes to jail, who doesn't go to jail. He decides who gets what. He decides who becomes a governor. He controls the INEC and what have you. So that is to show you that, for me, this is military rule, not democratic rule.
For you,
this is military when the EFCC is not independent.
Okay.
The police is not independent. The INEC is not independent. So what else? It's like we are operating by decree. Whatever our dear president decrees happens, and he is going to decree on this Lagos State speakership saga, and whatever he decrees will happen. But I will, if in fact we're here to watch how the whole drama will unfold.
The Governor's Advisory Council right here in Lagos, they're trying to see how they can resolve the OBASA quagmire between OBASA and a couple of the lawmakers. They're trying to see how things can properly be resolved so that the political atmosphere in Lagos will continue its smooth running. A couple of people also think that it's quite embarrassing for how the whole trajectory of OBASA's impeachment went. The fact that it wasn't properly planned, the whole thing seemed so personal, and the president seems like he is not in support, but as apparently he permitted.
Esther, I'll tell you something. I think the governor is trying to fight. The governor is trying to fight for a kind of independence.
Okay.
You know what they used to do? They will put in people that will represent in the house.
Okay.
Will be under their control. If you look at what is happening in Rivers State, Nyesom Wike brought Fubara, and then brought all the members of the house.
Okay.
So that he can control the house. He can control the governor through the house. And now when Fubara is becoming, stubborn, of course he tried to impeach him through the house. Right now, four reps out of 30 something is now sitting in the House of Assembly of Rivers State. So probably the governor of Lagos State is trying. They can't do anything. If you try to mess up, you'll be impeached.
Okay.
Look at the time of Ambode. I mean, something like that tried to happen. Okay. So they just have to, Ambode just have to manage till he was removed. The same thing when Fashola was still there. So if you look at Sonwo-Olu, Sonwo-Olu is just like an Iran boy.
Are you sure?
Yes, he's there, whatever you are told. So probably they are tired of this control. They are tired of the president's overbearing powers over Lagos State. And probably OBASA is the main man of the presidency in that Lagos State house. And they are trying to see how they can get him out and maybe give the governor some kind of independence. Of course, the president is going to fight back, and this is what is happening. How dare you remove my representative? So that is what is playing out. But let's see how the whole drama will unfold. Let's see how long they're going to hold
within the
forth.
presidency is saying that it's not from them, and that it's OBASA's antics. It's definitely not from the presidency. I want us to take a listen to this before we continue.
I am announcing Canada will be responding to the U.S. trade action with 25% tariffs against $155 billion worth of American goods. This will include immediate tariffs on $30 billion worth of goods as of Tuesday, followed by further tariffs on $125 billion worth of American products in 21 days' time to allow Canadian companies and supply chains to seek to find alternatives.
So apparently there's a trade tariff war between the United States of America and Canada. This is Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. And a lot of Nigerians have now come up to say, okay, Trump is on a war path, literally on a war path. He is not even allowing for any sane mind. He is on voraciously. He's on aggressively. And a couple of Nigerians are calling on Trump to actually see how he can expose a couple of the activities of the president while he was resident in the United States, a couple of his activities that were redacted by the FBI, a couple of his activities that the FBI did not disclose to us in their 2,500 documents. They're also referring to his certificate, supposed alleged certificate forgery saga that went viral, the heroin trafficking money that he paid. And they're saying that if that is the case, if Trump is able to do that, possibly it would strain the relationship between Nigeria and the United States, which should possibly lead to a sanitization in how our electoral process is conducted here. I was of the note that it's not going to make any difference. And Nigeria is an indigenous and independent nation, is a sovereign nation that cannot have any external influence or impact from the United States, regardless of how powerful they think they are. But why do Nigerians think that Trump could possibly decide to look the way of Tinubu and decide to expose a couple of his antics that were redacted by the FBI, considering the fact that he's a CIA agent, as was revealed?
It's funny sometimes the way we Nigerians so much trust the West. I mean, to solve our problems. You see them calling Trump. You see them calling Britain to solve our problem. Are we not a sovereign state? I mean, these are people that are benefiting from Nigeria. And you want them to come and sanitize an entity where they benefit from. It's not possible until we Nigerians rise up, and do something about our situation in this country, and even find a way to kind of push the Western world away from our country. We won't get there. We won't be delivered. In fact, these people had so much grip on us. Do you know the whole trial saga after the election?
Yes.
Do you know what kind of agreement our president had with Joe Biden?
Joe Biden.
That made them cover so much. I felt so ashamed. It's now begin to occur to me how they value us. Our interest does not matter to them. What matters to them is their interest, what they can benefit. And remember, as at that time, America went into a bad war, supporting the Ukraine-Russian, war, and they lost a lot. And this getting involved in that war hit their economy so bad. And I think, and they got an opportunity to make Nigeria be able to bounce back, and you are expecting them to come and, why did they fight good luck? Jonathan.
But that was in Obama's administration.
Why did, yes, I mean, it's when it comes to the interest of America, from Obama, Joe Biden would continue from there, and Trump, of course, anything that Trump is even so aggressive to build back Americans' economy.
Exactly.
And now he has a way where they are benefiting from. You want him to block it. He even wants to block those that are benefiting from them, and then open up channels where they will benefit from. And now the ones that have been open to them, you want him to block it. Well, I don't think it's possible, even though I won't say no, it will happen. But I don't think Trump will rise and start fighting probably a Tinubu who is helping their economy grow. I mean, look at
helping their economy grow.
Moment, yes. The dollars is how much? Before their president took over power, how much is dollars? Dollars is around 700, 600, and today it's 1,000 something. Who is benefiting? Close to 2,000 naira. Who is benefiting from this? Fuel is about 200 and something naira. Today it's close to 1,000 naira. So if you look at all the policies of our president, it benefits other countries while we suffer. I was so shocked that ordinary Benin Republic, their currency is higher than Nigerian currency. So you can imagine. So if we are looking at Trump to take a decision, that will affect us positively, I think we are still being delusional. Let me use that word. We are still joking. We are still playing.
Nobody wants anything positively. They're literally asking Trump, because of his stance on anti-corruption, because of his rigidity, he's on a no-caring zone, he's bulldozing, and they're expecting him to bulldoze the president. But I asked a question now as to the fact that not long ago we heard that, he's a CIA asset. So how can you bulldoze an asset of yours, according to what that report disclosed, if you say President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a CIA asset? Because that was one of the reasons they said they could not expose a couple of his documents or activities because he's an asset.
The question I will ask us is, if Trump bulldoze Tinubu, how will that benefit America?
Exactly.
Trump will not do something that will not benefit his country. And if Trump bulldozes Tinubu, it will affect America. Trump is not gonna do that.
All right.
Except maybe if there is an incoming government, maybe they want to support somebody. Obama's government oppressed Goodluck regime so much so that, in fact, I believe that part of Goodluck losing that election is the pressure from the Western world was part of what put. I remember when Mrs. Obama had this release Chibok girls.
Okay.
There's so much advertised, Chibok girls and what have you, things that pull down the government of Goodluck Jonathan, because Jonathan was tight.
All right.
And our economy was growing. We know that our economy is growing. So he tried to block the Western world from milking Nigeria. So they fought back. So after fighting back, they installed a government that they had a good relationship with. They never complained about them. They had a good relationship with. Now, after transiting from Buhari to Tinubu, who continued that good relationship, you want Trump to come and spoil it? No, Trump will not spoil it. So my advice to us is to rise. We should look beyond tribe and religion and come together as a nation and take a decision that will affect this nation positively, rather than looking for some people to come and help us fight. When a Yoruba man will fight an Igbo man based on tribe, an Igbo man will fight an Hausa man based on tribe, an Hausa man will fight an Igbo man based on religion. Now, after fighting ourselves, you now want foreigners to come and help you fix your country. It's not going to happen. So it is high time we rise and come together. Look beyond tribe and religion and see ourselves as Nigerians. Because if religion has not even helped us anyway,
exactly,
tribe has not even helped us anyway, so why don't we just jettison these things and rise, rather than calling people that are benefiting from our woes, benefiting from the situation in Nigeria? It's better we rise.
Lolo, the presidency has urged opposition figures seeking to gauge their popularity to hold off until the 2027 general election. In fact, in a late post yesterday on February 1, the special advisor to the president on media and public communication, Sunday Dari, urged the opposition leaders to wait for the upcoming elections to challenge the governor's or the candidates' leadership. The APC under Tinubu had been at the center of accusations from Atiku Abubakar, the PDP's presidential candidate in 2023, that Tinubu paid 50 million naira to certain opposition members to destabilize the PDP. The APC, however, denied these claims. Nasir El-Rufai, former governor of Kaduna State, also added to the controversy, describing the current state of governance and opposition as a national emergency. This was during a recent national conference in Abuja. He called that opposition parties should unite against the ruling party. Well, Dara responded and said, while President Bola Tinubu is seeking solutions to Nigeria's energy problems in Tanzania, some wannabes were heating up the polity. He added that the opposition's actions have done little but follow a predictable script and urged Nigerians to differentiate between political hecklers and genuine progressives. So he's telling the opposition to wait until 2027. Let them see how strong they are. Now we are seeing machinations already on ground. Things are being put in place. The extension of the Inspector General of Police. There's a possibility that Mahmoud Yakub, the INEC chair, may remain till then. We haven't seen a new nominee. Strategies are already on ground ahead of 2027. there is no opposition as it stands now. The PDP is almost like they are no longer existing. You have the PDP chairman Damagum, who seems to be an APC member. You have Wike controlling the majority of the party members in the PDP and is factionalized. You have the Labour Party literally redundant. We're not seeing any form of activity from them. And there are calls for a measure or a political measure, a coalition, which Peter Obi says that if there will be any coalition, it should be a coalition for national interest and not for personal interest. How do you see all of this intricacies playing out?
Now, all I see the APC government do is to put mercenaries in place for 2027.
All right.
And they are spending huge amount of money to maintain these mercenaries. Mercenaries in media can see all the best propaganda is under our president's payroll to continue to, use the media.
Are you sure? The president has denied being part of all of that.
What I mean is media aids. He spends so much in employing media aids that are bombarding, Nigerians, saying all manner of things in the media just to, just to give his government some good face. And then you look at, people have accused me of building houses for the judges. These are also part of the mercenaries he will use. He doesn't need Nigerians. Nigerians know today that if election were to be conducted in Nigeria free and fair, APC cannot win a ward. APC-led government cannot win a single ward in Nigeria today.
Madam Pinto,
you get it. Now, what they are trying to do is they are telling the oppositions, you better not waste your money. You better not worry yourself. When after all the court and what happened in the election, and President Ahmed Tinubu won in court, won the election. Of course, we all know in Nigeria, sometimes when they say they win an election, I don't know whether they are taking us for fools. We all know that President Tinubu did not win 2023 election.
Are you sure?
It was massively rigged. In fact,
Madam Pinto, these are your words? These are according to INEC.
That election is supposed to be cancelled.
Madam Pinto, according to INEC, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu genuinely won. The Supreme Court affirmed
that's what I'm saying. They buy mercenaries. INEC is part of this mercenaries.
INEC has distanced itself from election. INEC has distanced itself from that.
Esther won in court. Sure. In some other states, where you see us not doing election when others, because elections were turned. And so if it were to be in 2003 or 2004, this election will be cancelled and another election will be conducted. So after 2015, we went into military rule. In fact, they do it in broad daylight. They don't care what Nigerians say or do. Look at Imo State now. For instance, we're all shocked where somebody who came. In fact, I'm from Imo State. When I asked people about, they said, what the APC did not campaign. They didn't even do anything. They just relaxed because already they know they will take it from the Supreme Court. So the oppositions, I understand what the APC media aids to our dear president is telling not just the opposition parties, the whole Nigerians. We just have to wait. Let us finish our thing. After 2032, you can start talking.
After 2032?
Yes, definitely. That if President Tinubu could cross the hurdle of rigging the election cross the hurdle of the court or the drug and what have you, and grab power, and you think you just go and vote, and then we know. Now, with all these things, Nigerians should rise. To be honest with you, I think it is high time we rise and do something about our government taking us for a ride.
How do we rise when we are polarized? Lolo, if you go on social media, you see everything now is tribal. every conversation is tribal. There is massive bigotry going on there. I've never experienced this country as divided as ever since the 2023 election. I would have expected that the aides of the president will, especially the media aides, will come and address this. But you see government agents, persons working in the inner circle of the government, being part of this bigotry banter, specifically on social media. The latest one is the Sharia one. You walked in when I was interviewing one of the barristers here. He's one of the leaders of the Sharia panel in Lagos State, and these are persons of the same ethnic group, but there's a polarization because of the establishment of the Sharia arbitration panel. And then you also see intertribal conflict, either from the Igbos and the Yorubas to the Igbos, and you are wondering, when we have intricate issues to discuss on how to move the economy forward, how to have better leadership, how to hold those in government accountable, but there's a deliberate means of distraction. If you go on X, it's like they create a scenario that distracts everyone from what is happening.
Exactly.
And so everyone is fighting and grappling on something irrelevant or unnecessary. Meanwhile, the main issues are going on.
Exactly.
So would you call this an attempt to...
You can't plan for tomorrow. You can't. There's no how anybody will wake up and say, okay, let me plan that in 6 months' time, I will do this. You can't project. So what we do right now in Nigeria is you wake up every day, come to work and go, collect your salary. You can't even project what will happen to your company, because somebody can wake up and say, close it down. And you don't have a right. You can't challenge it. You go to court. I mean, it's worse. So that's the scenario. Now, Nigerians are getting impatient. They know what, anything can happen any day. So they need to engage. They need to distract Nigeria. They need to put confusion, within, so that they can come together, to agree on something, to be able to do something. So it's a distraction, really. Okay, look at what Reno Omokri said. What has it got to do? Look at what Fani Kayode said. So they pay these people to put things and engage Nigerians to start fighting themselves, rather than talking about how to solve a problem, how to come together to solve a problem. So they create this division among us using either tribe. Okay, now they have nothing to say again. Then now, why the Sharia something now? Why throwing up Sharia right now? We've been in this country, like the man I was talking. If you've been doing your Sharia thing and it's working, why not continue to do it the way you are doing? Why eating up the polity?
No, it's some conservatives that are hitting up the polity.
No, the point is that they now want to establish it. You get me? And people are now saying that no, you can't. They've been doing it. It's like Christians. Christians has a way of sorting out issues among themselves, and it works for them. If husband and wife are having issues, they will go to their church. They will sort it out for them. I'm sure that is the same way the Muslims are doing it in the Southwest. Okay, because if you come to Southwest,
but based on what the Islamic scholar that I just spoke with before you came in, it's in the Constitution. The Constitution specifies that the Sharia court of additional Qadis, it can be set up in states where the demand for it exists, with its purpose primarily focused on resolving civil disputes rooted in Islamic personal law. And according to his explanation, he says, who are they to say that the courts should not be established when it is in the Constitution? And the Southwest has a predominant number of persons who actually of the panels or courts already established in Lagos. So he doesn't understand why a lot of them are complaining now that they do not want it when it's already in existence, and that they try to resolve family issues. But you can understand where the conservatives are coming from. They feel that this religion has a way of dominating, taking over, and they feel that insecurity will be permitted. So I said, is it possible for teachings, conferences to be established to properly educate the states where they want to establish these courts, and douse the fears of intimidation, of taking over, of dominance, of expansionist ideas, if it is a family thing? And secondly, it may have been demanded by the indigenes of the states. According to what this thing says, it says, based on the demand of persons in the region that practice Islam.
Now, why are these persons making that demand now? They've been around for decades, like he said. Islam has been around Southwest for over 1,000 years. Well, I don't know how truth that is. Now, if it has been around and there has been religious tolerance among the Yorubas and it's working for them, why bringing something that might bring problem? Why now? Now, I think what they have in the Southwest is indirect Sharia courts. Indirect Sharia court where Muslims have an understanding, just like Christians have also indirect courts, okay, where they will go and meet the elders of the church and they mediate, and it's working for them. You get it? Now, they are trying to, Yorubas has had this tolerance of religion, where
they're quite
a Muslim,
tolerant.
yes,
They're tolerant and accommodating.
Okay, now if a Muslim man marries, when you now fully establish this court, fully, when you fully establish something, you give it some powers.
Okay.
But now they don't really have that powers like they have it in the north. Even some northern states did not establish that Sharia court. Not all northern states are practicing it. Yes, good number of them, that about 90%.
The north central states.
Yes, about 90% Muslims. If you go to north, Christians can get anything because 95% of them are Christians. So
which part of the north?
I mean, in the east,
okay,
Christians can get whatever they want to get because 95% of them are Christians. So you won't have that challenge and heating up. Now, the Southwest, I understand where they are coming from. They have peace. You have about, I think, 55% Christians and 45%, Muslims. Now, they've had this, Muslims cannot have that grip in the Southwest
because they're not that dominant.
They're not that dominant. That's number one. Number two, now what if we have this court established and a man that marries a Christian woman try to drag this woman to Sharia court? What happens? Sometimes we want to establish and we don't look at long-term effects it's going to have on the peace they once have. So, and I think this goes a long way to know how far religion has destroyed us. I could say religion has destroyed us more than it has developed us, to be honest with you. Now, we have these traditional customary laws that works for us much better than most of. Islam is a foreign religion. Christianity is a foreign religion.
We have our traditional.
That if you look at their laws, they're even more accommodating. In Islam, if somebody steals, they'll cut your hand.
And they complain that actually only applies to the poor people.
That's the point. So the thing is, the Southwesterners that are beating this drum, when the music sets, they might not be able to dance it. I think they should maintain the status quo and have what they have. Now, if you say you want to establish a Sharia court, and your brothers here said, no, it won't be okay for us. So why hitting up the policy? Why pushing it? So I think it's just a way of bringing in another
But these
distraction.
panels are already in existence. Like I spoke with the Islamic scholar earlier, he said that a couple of them are, especially in Lagos here,
That's what I'm saying.
they're already established.
It's not a full court. Okay. It's a panel that gives Muslims an age to go, and it's like in Lagos.
It's to resolve.
Yes, it's like in Lagos. We have mobile courts.
Yes,
where you go and resolve issues. It's not a full court with some powers, but just to harness things, you have mediation.
Yes, you do.
Mediation is not court. You just go there and mediate. So I think that is what they have.
So
and it has been working for them.
So what's
now, the problem is they want to establish the Sharia court, fully giving power to practice as a court, just like it is being practiced in the north. I mean, they have these panels. The Yoruba did not rise against it because they recognize their rights as Muslims. Because even Christians too, we do our thing in the church. Any day Christian, okay, what if Christians rise now and said, okay, put our own, we want to have court, put our own. I mean, it will hit all over the place. Or Igbos will rise and said, okay, we want to have our traditional customary court. We can
establish in our region.
Oh, in their region. Please, let them practice it. Since they have this panel, people are not complaining. Now, why are people complaining now? That means you want to do something that they don't like. If this man said they have this panel, let them keep their panel and then practice it the way they've been practicing that There was no chaos. There was no opera about it. But now that they've raised it, and there are people said no, and they've given XYZ reasons, I think they should back down and practice it the way they have been practicing. I know the Sharia thing has been very much around in the Southwest, but they just put it up together. I said this government has so much destroyed Nigeria. They do whatever they like. They are insensitive. They don't care about what you think. What they want is what they do. Anything they want, they go ahead and force it and do it and jail people just because they want to enforce their authority. In fact, I stand to be corrected. I think Nigerians feel more like they are in military rule than in democratical rule.
All right, Alola, let's also take a look at this particular scenario. On Friday, we saw a report where Inter-Society alleged that 180 has been killed from 2024 December to 2025 January. 21 billion naira extorted in Southeast within 2 months, and these extortion are from non-state actors and even state actors, that is the military and the police at most of the checkpoints in there. A lot of money has been made. Inter-Society said they did an in-depth research on it and got their data, and they claimed that police and military seized at gunpoint and criminally pocketed 21.8 billion naira, police 15 billion naira, and military 6.8 billion naira from Southeast roadblocks and barracks extortions in 2 months. They also provided further details where these was observed in Uga Junction and Atani Road naval checkpoints, and these are the lucrative checkpoints in the Southeast, and they even get as much as almost 600 million naira per day. It's possible, like 1 million naira per day if you calculate it, seized at the gunpoint and criminally pocketed in these 2 months. They also said that 200 defenseless Southeasterners abducted in 2 months, 160 by armed non-state actors, and 40 others held outside the law and facing permanent disappearance by military, police, and killer vigilantes. And I also saw a particular press conference that was organized very recently of you, because I know that you are the head of the Igbo Women Assembly right here in Lagos, where you also accuse security agencies of creating the insecurity in the Southeast. How do you contextualize all of this?
Yeah, because we were on ground. We took inventory. We went, round Southeast to get. In fact, the analysis I'm giving you is an understatement. In fact, this has also affected the cost of transportation in and outside Southeast. From initially from Nnewi to Enugu cost 4,000 naira, 3,500 to 4,000. Today is 8,000 naira. Now drivers will pay at every checkpoint 100 naira at every checkpoint, and from Anambra to Enugu you have more than 20 checkpoints. So calculate all the transporters going in and out of Enugu State just along that axis. So each driver, before you get to your destination, you pay 2,000 naira. So calculate all the transporters, and then for the big lorries. Now, I don't even know why they moved the militaries.
Okay.
What the militaries were doing in Southeast is basically business. They have no business with securing Southeast. And that was why we told them that they don't have any reason being there, because they can be there. And we have this high level of insecurity and crimes. So what are they doing there? Southeast is not like the North, where you have bandits wielding gun, shooting and doing criminal activities. If you go to Southeast, you will see this absolute peace. Okay. That does not warrant what. So what they did was put roadblocks and collect money. So the analysis they give might even be more. And ever since they're moving, there is this high rate of organ harvesting, high rate of criminals moving around. Now, most responsible people were harassed and they left Southeast. So there was an influx of criminals into South. It's like there's a business going on in the Southeast.
It's a major business hub.
Yes, and organized by security men. Organized, let them come and deny. Okay, look at, there was an Igbo man that has a television and radio outfit. He traveled to the east in December, and he was coming back. He went. In fact, our young men today, if you travel, you must hire security men to guide you in the south. When we have militaries and police scattered all over southeast, then you must. Now he went and picked some security men to take him to the airport. They were arrested by the military. They were called kidnappers. They wanted to shoot them. So that is to go. If if young men cannot move around, when they see you a responsible young man, they disturb you. But in their checkpoint, you see these criminals helping them to collect money. If you go to that checkpoint, you see criminals, rough boys, helping them to collect money with waving cane. In fact, one day I was forced to come down and confront the militaries. That I was pressing my phone. So I was reading. I didn't know when we got to the military checkpoint. The boy now arrested us, a young man, and flagged us down. I came down from my vehicle and asked the army man, "Who is this? What is this boy doing here? What is his right to arrest?" And he was commanding our driver. They panicked. I said, "This is how you have downgraded us to the point that you recruit criminals to harass drivers and collect money. It's bad." Now, when you now see a healthy, responsible young man, you arrest them, harass them, put fear in them so that they will not come back again. So they arrested this man, tried to shoot him. So what they will do is they will abduct them, take them to the forest, collect ransom, and shoot them. Now, it took an intervention of calling even the security men that were with this young man. They didn't even believe that they were security men until they had to, make some effort to call, and they were ready. And now we are now saying, how are we sure all these criminals and IPOP members they said they're shooting? This is not innocent citizens that they are shooting. You get it? The organ harvesting happening around South. We have never seen military arrest and say these are syndicates of organ harvesting that we arrested. Kidnapping, they have never arrested and say these are kidnappers. In fact, those that are working now is because people are now raising vigilantes. If you look at the arrest, majorly is made by vigilante groups. So that was why we said, communities, please go home and raise vigilante groups. So we are accusing them now. You've been there for the past. We have peace in the south before the military is moving, and all of a sudden, immediately you moved in, all manner of abominable crimes like organ harvesting is now the order of the day, especially in the south. Kidnapping is now. How do they move when they kidnap somebody? How do they move these individuals they kidnap? So that was why we said they were there to do business. I don't know what the Southeasterners did. It's like the APC government. They had a plan against the Southeasterners because
you're referring to when Buhari came on board.
Yes, from 2015 till now, and even the ethnic rancor slurs got heightened during that time.
The disparity became so obvious.
It's like there's something about Southeast, but of course, the Igbo, they're fighting back seriously and they're trying to expose all these things. So the analysis they gave is even wrong. They didn't get it.
You're saying that right. It's even more than what they actually gave here.
Every vehicle that moves gives them 100 naira. If they don't, there was a day I had fracas. We are traveling. I was coming back from Lagos. I went to my house in Nnewi to pick your documents. Came back and now continue to come to continue to go to Enugu. If you get to Enugu by 9 o'clock, you won't see vehicles. All right. Now we were rushing. We were rushing, and the driver parked. One man said they're going to park our driver, so they parked our driver, and I was at the back of the Sienna, and he was using touch. The way they humiliate and intimidate this driver for some time. He told the man that we are going to stay here till 12 o'clock. So I was now calling the driver to come and open the vehicle for us to, come down and take fresh air. The military man came in, was pointing his torch directly to my eyes. I came down and a heated argument ensued between me and him. So their leaders, should I say, their leaders came out, and after some time they had to. In fact, I wanted to go live that day, and they said that they're going to break my phone if I try to go live with that. So this is what is obtainable in the South. So whoever is giving you that analysis is even that's an understatement.
All right, let's take some reactions. It's actually time for us to take reactions right now. You're currently listening to the Political Spotlight. We try to cover a couple of controversial political issues right here. My name is Esther Nwachukwu. You've been listening to my analyst in the studio, Lolo Neka Chimeze, also known as Madam Pinto. And earlier this evening, thereabout, I spoke with one of the leaders of the Sharia panel right here in Lagos concerning the disparity between the establishment of Sharia arbitration panels and the fact that there is a disquiet among Southwesterners for the establishment. You guys asked me to get a cleric, someone who can speak from that angle, and I did that this evening. So what are your thoughts? What are your recommendations? What would you expect to be done from now on? How do we gear to ensure good governance and ensure that in 2027 the votes of Nigerians count, and we'll not be hearing all of these anomalies that we're hearing now? Oh, this person won, this person did not win. We want a sanitization of the institution called INEC. These are the issues, and I would like to hear what you think. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Political Spotlight. How are you? Yes, good evening. How are you? Hello, can you hear me? All right, kindly call back. That's a drop call. The number to call is 080-3692-9933. 080-3692-9933. The WhatsApp number is 0817-175-6338. That's the WhatsApp number to send your messages to 081-717-56338. And the number to call is 080-3692-9933. Good evening. Good evening. How are you?
Fine. My name is Emeka.
Emeka, what's your location, please?
From Motion.
All right, Emeka, please go ahead.
That man in the studio, he should give us evidence that APC did not win in 2023.
Okay.
She should give us evidence. Just
right.
tell him your guest.
Okay.
Tell him or her to give us the evidence.
All right. No, they say you should present evidence that APC did not win.
Okay, first of all, your name is not Emeka. From your intonation, you're a Yoruba person. So I don't know why you will claim that your name is not Emeka.
Hello, wow. Please turn off the volume of your radio device, please. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good evening.
Hello.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Yes, what's your name?
My name is Sunday. I call from Nigeria.
All right, sir, please go ahead.
I said that this madam that is seated here.
Okay, thank you.
Almighty God bless him in Jesus' name.
Amen.
What I want to say is that concern insecurity in this, the soldiers and the police, then push to Southeast. They are there to collect money. They are not securing anybody there. Even if I'm a driver. So what the soldiers, they are not collecting 100 naira. Their money is from 200 to 500. Only police collect 100 naira. So that's what I want to say.
All
God
right.
bless you.
Thank you very much. 08036929933. 08036929933. That's the number to call. Hello. Good evening. How are you? Hello.
Yes, I'm with you.
Yes. What's your name, please? Turn off your radio. Turn off your radio, please. I can hear myself at the end.
A minute, thank you. So, this is Evangelist Anthony.
All right, sir. Go ahead. You have 60 seconds.
Hello? Are you
Go
hearing me?
ahead. Go ahead. I can hear you.
Yes, so what our mommy is saying is the truth.
Okay.
You understand? So, what is happening in Nigeria today? We have big issue, big problem going on today because of the corruption.
Okay.
You understand? Okay, look at our state, Imo State. Look at how they send what they call is it unknown gunmen under say their military just to oppress, intimidate the Igbos. So most of the Igbos now, most of us we are afraid of going our father, our motherland, and that is wrong. You understand? So for this Lagos State House of Assembly, what they sow is what they are reaping. You understand? The truth is that there is no constitution in Nigeria again. Nigeria constitution has been, in fact, it has been buried.
How? That's according to you. There's constitution, no? Constitution day.
Nigeria constitution has been, because
Constitution day.
When we don't practice it, when we don't practice the constitution,
Constitution day. Constitution day. I just want to tell you now. Constitution day. 1999
but
constitution
the
as
country
amended.
is not being run by the constitution. That's what the man is trying to say. We have constitution, yes,
Okay.
but the Nigerian is not being run by the constitution.
But
That's what the man
there is constitution.
There is,
There's
but
constitution.
when you don't use it,
Hello, good evening. How are you? Yes, what's your name?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name, please?
Yeah, my name is Yusuf. I'm calling from Atlanta.
All right, go ahead. You have 60 seconds. Hello? Oh, that's a drop call. Kindly call back 08036929933. 08036929933. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Hello, good evening.
I can hear you. Good evening. How are you? What's your name?
My name is James. I'm calling from Bariga.
All right, sir. Go ahead.
I've been enjoying this program.
Thank
me,
you.
If they want to repair everything, we have to start from up to down. Like now, in the areas of police salary, how much is police collect? To me, I'm not a police officer, but all these so-called 100 naira that collecting, if they will legalize this, the money, then so that maybe with the little contribution that will be contributing to them, they may use it to buy equipment and have CCTV camera all over. Because to me, police they don't even have equipment.
All right. Thank you. Thank you.
To work.
Thank you very
Something will
much.
happen in your street. Police people will come and begin to ask me, how does this happen? Because there's no CCTV camera. One of my drivers.
All right. Thank you. All right. Hello. Good evening. How are you?
Good evening, Esther Machuku.
Good evening. How are you, sir? Welcome to the program.
Yeah, this is Renata calling from Spain.
All right, sir. Nadi, please go ahead.
Madam Pinto, I agree to my sister.
there was sir.
You are blessed.
Well done.
May God be with you.
Okay.
Esther Machuku,
Sir.
you asked Madam Pinto, what do we do? Esther Machuku,
Sir.
well, the only thing is this, if you can, as a journalist, you can do your work effectively. You see things will change.
Okay.
Esther Machuku, I will just take the lesson from this Kenneth Okonkwo.
Okay.
Kenneth Okonkwo, see, if you are not raised on actor, you say because of your religion you cannot kiss. Stay away from acting. If you're a journalist, you want to be afraid of dying or going to cell, you stay away.
So in other words, I should
so
stay away from afraid.
That is the only thing. That is the thing I will tell you. Esther Machuku, for the past almost 2 years, I've been listening to this VOP.
Yes.
Every time you talk about that, you see somebody saying, "Are you sure?" Esther, what you are a journalist, you go and investigate and you find out if it is true.
Nadi,
Not every time you try to ask the person if the person is sure.
We have to ask now, so that it's not from us, it's
Esther
from the analyst.
and I'm leave it for now.
Okay.
Okay, have a great day.
Thank you very, very much, Nadi. Thank you for calling. All right. Please ask your guest why this Sharia not handling corrupt politicians. Anthony from Satellite Town.
I know for them.
Good evening, VOP. As a matter of fact, Sharia shouldn't be allowed in the Southwest, South, and Southeast. The lawyer that spoke is so concerned because of his job being a Sharia lawyer. And I think he's also a scholar, but he's also a lawyer. He practices law, but he's also a scholar. In my views, if Sharia is allowed in the South, it will instigate impunity in some Muslims and may cause religious war. Imagine what happened in one of the northern states where a Christian by name Deborah was murdered in her prime by some Muslim miscreants claiming she blasphemed. If it were here in the South, more heads would have rolled. Besides, what happened if a case erupts between a traditional or a Christian and a Muslim? Please let noblemen such as Chief Gani Adams not allow Sharia in the South. I think Chief Gani Adams spoke against it too. Esther, the woman in the studio, is a superwoman. She speaks the truth fearlessly. I love her. It's just that this government might be looking for her because they really hate to be criticized. Esther, take it or leave it. President Tinubu is not a Democrat, and it can never be. They just used that to deceive some gullible Nigerians during the 2023 general election. As all of us open our eyes for Tinubu to be sworn in as our president in 2023, we are all in for it. Esther, trust this man. He's working on 2027 general election already. Unago shock. AY from Mushi. All right, Ewa, if truly Nigeria as a nation is practicing presidential system of government as seen in America, what stops us from having electronic voting and transmission of results as seen in America too? How many Americans come out under the sun to vote and wait for results to be announced? Until there is electoral reforms that will allow Nigerians vote at the comfort of their zones and results transmitted electronically, we will still be where we are. 2027 general election is on the way. Well, we are watching as the planet is listening. Comrade Abraham Ugo from Achakole says that there is no place where the military is not corrupt, but they try to hide it from the public, so all deals are hidden. But when a country's military starts collecting bribe opening without shame, it automatically means that the country is finished. Because my question is, who will now save the country? Happy Sunday, Esther, Madam Pinto, and VP family. Nigeria is currently living like conquered people. Southeast insecurity and sending military to our roads who are hatched in Imo State. Aside from police and military extortions, Ibubago also collects money from motorists in Imo State.
That's right.
And in all these things, state actors don't show any signs of intervention. May God save our land. Amici from Mafoluku. Good evening, Lady Esther and Madam Pinto. The government of the day does not want peace and progress in Southeast. I believe what is happening there is a gang up. My people said whoever is holding someone down is holding himself also. Nigeria cannot progress more than the East can. When they want Nigeria to progress, they will allow equal playing ground. Igbos are peaceful people and nobody can change that. They should release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Have a good night. Okosisi from Surulere. All right, thank you. Because this evening, Esther and the guest. Abacha said in his time, if terrorism lasts 24 hours, the government knows about it. See how Boko Haram attacked army base for 2 hours, no backup, while they are on south is collecting money. If this is Nigeria's representative government can tell you the gospel truth concerning your government, that means your government is romancing with these terrorists and bandits. Our military have been compromised and they have turned politicians doing eye service and hypocrisy. What has been done concerning the 400 names of those sponsoring terrorism in Nigeria? Expecting this government to work, it's like expecting a blind man to lead you across an expressway full of fast cars. It's a suicide mission. It's a shame the worst of us is ruling the best of us. Truly, there was a country. Die from Fagba. Good evening, VOP presenter. It seems you have designated numbers you like to pick. I've tried this number for more than 15 times, but no way. I'm sorry. I'm reading messages. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Political Spotlight. What's your name? Yes, how are you?
Yeah, fine. My name is PK. I'm calling from Apapa.
All right, sir. Please go ahead. You have 60 seconds.
Yes. Okay. Esther, when somebody commit a crime, a valuable crime, and his two of his hands was cut off, what is the difference between those kind of action with the jungle justice? There's no difference. And I want to tell you, Esther, these people trying to introduce Sharia law in West here are terrorists in a disguise. So, if the people from the Southwest could not understand that that is what is going to be the end result, let them know it from now. Boko Harams are looking for their ways. The governor of Oyo State has said it that they are looking for their ways to get to inside Southwest environment.
All right, thank you so much. You've exhausted 1 minute. We need to take more calls because we have another program coming up very soon. 08036929933. That's the number. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Hello.
Yes, hello. What's your name?
Hello.
What's your name? All right, you can hear me. Hello, good evening. How are you, Remy?
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm fine. Well done.
Greeting to your guest.
Thank you very much.
Two things I want to address.
Okay.
APC has failed when it comes to governance. So the ploy they're adopting is this ethnic war in quotes.
Exactly.
And they have their online soldiers.
It's bad, though. It's really bad.
Exactly.
They are failed at governance. So that is the only thing they can do. And if you observe, that
that will
ethnic
not
stuff is
come together.
coming from one part of the country. And when I say one part, I'm not saying one ethnic group, one particular organization, one particular party. Observe, it is from one particular party, and they are from one particular state, Lagos State. Check other Southwest states, you will see that.
Right.
So it is a ploy. Lastly, your guest said something during the when he started this program that Tinubu never won the election, and I support her. This is the fact that that's out there before every one of us. INEC told us 3 major candidates won 12 states each, Abby. Yeah. And in another breath, according to their IREV, one of these 12 won Rivers State, but INEC declared someone else to have won Rivers State. So add that one to the 12 the person had won, that is 13. So invariably, President Tinubu had the 13 states. So media also should help with this narrative, because history is being written. They shouldn't tweak it. One person won 12 states among these, and one person won Rivers State, which was given to someone else. So by calculation, simple fact out there, someone won 13 states among these 3. Who was the person? Was the person INEC declared as the winner? Going by their own record, not my own opinion. Their own record, though.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Political Spotlight. What's your name?
Hello.
Hello, what's your name? Sir, good evening. How are you? Good evening, sir.
Good evening to your guest in the studio.
Good evening, sir.
Welcome to the program. Please.
Yeah, my name is
60 seconds.
Osifo. I'm calling from Abanga.
Mr. Osifo, how are you?
Fine, thank you, madam.
All right, go ahead.
Actually, I've listened to your analysis. Your analysis seems to be very okay.
All right.
Very, very okay. When it comes to the eastern part, what the police and the military, what they are doing in the eastern part of Nigeria, you are 100% on point. But where I'm against is that, one, you are a little bit biased against the government. You have not seen anything good in this present administration. Imagine you saying that if election is conducted today and it's fair, free and fair, that Bola Ahmed Tinubu or APC will not get one council, or maybe just to get.
Okay, Mr. Osifo, tell us one thing that is good about the government that he has done. Tell us one.
Beautiful. The two policies, the two initial policies that they established, they withdraw the oil subsidy and, of course, the subsidy of the dollar. Well, let me go to the petroleum issue.
Peter, your 1 minute has been exhausted. Peter, your 1 minute has been exhausted. Sorry, Madam Binto. What's your final take today? Because we have another program coming up.
Okay. Well, my final take is, fellow Nigerians, we should not allow ourselves to be deceived or distracted. Our people from the Southwest, do not be deceived. Now, like the last speaker said, the other guy that spoke before the last speaker said that it is not Southwest. PC went and hide under the guise of Southwest, as if they're defending Southwest. They're fighting a war that never existed between them and the Southeasterners, just to make sure the Southeast, they want that division. So I want us to rise and fight it. We are all Southerners. It's affecting all of us. They pay them money. They give them contracts. So this country belongs to all of us. We must rise and do something about it. Especially the Southwest should rise and condemn those that are inciting this ethnic division among the Igbos. Because when you keep quiet, it will be as if all of you were coming. So it is better, let the argument be the Southwesterners against this APC social media foot soldiers, so that you will differentiate yourself, so we will know that these are political paid talks that are just backing on social media. But we really need to rise up and do something about the situation of this country for the future generation.
All right. Thank you so much, Madam Pinto. I sincerely appreciate you. Thank you, all of you who called and sent messages. YouTube messages. Charles Zuru says stealing public fund is not politics. Charles Zuru on Esther's behalf. Tinubu have captured Nigeria. Wicked blessing. Esther, where are you in 2023? Trader USA, what up? Thank you. Those military checkpoints, they make a lot of money. Esther, your days are numbered. Continue ignoring messages. Tosin, my days are numbered by God. Oh, thank you very much. Both born Christians should bring their own law to. All right, thank you all of you for your messages. Madam Pinto, once again, thank you so much. I sincerely do appreciate you coming today. And also to the Islamic scholar that I called in earlier this evening when we spoke, where he was able to clarify issues. I want to say thank you so much. I sincerely do appreciate Barrister Iskil Lawal. He tried in putting things in context and giving us his own purview, specifically speaking for those who actually want the establishment of the Sharia panel in the Southwest. Have yourselves a wonderful evening. Bye for now. See you tomorrow.